Welcome back. We're here to do the joint connection. Yes, this does appear to be. I'm going to research because we need to know what's up in the stars with this, because it does appear to be, as we are moving closer to the eclipse, which I do believe it's on the 28th, we are having a little bit of a test. Now, I'm going to get all the updates, all the info up on the screen. We're going to go through our weekly energy to be prepared both emotionally, physically, and other. We do have the angel number energy we are still working with, and it's really funny because this angel number is so relevant to the current cycles and changes, being that we are in the eclipse month, that we have transits going direct. We're prepping, especially moving towards the end of the year, but there's a lot of amping up of situations. Now, whenever we get the 1 and the 0, 0 can be a little bit like the Fool card in tarot. So it's like you're taking a leap of faith, directly feeling. It could be that you're feeling a little bit like apprehensive. It's like you are missing details. You don't quite know how that new beginning is going to come, especially when we do have Taurus in the mix. Uranus and Taurus currently is retrograde. It also is one of those very temperamental energies, and thus the reason it is ending a nodal cycle relating to the previous nodal cycle we had with this eclipse coming on the 28th. So it can happen quite drastically. Uranus is the bringer of change. It could have been anything we were delaying. And it's quite final, especially in the mix. But we can see over the next 6 to 12 months, definitely, those energies also can play out ahead of time. I will go into the webinar energy with the members and release it later to the public. If you do want to come along and join that, we do have those energy updates. So being the 0, there's infinite possibilities. There's infinite ways. It could be rags to riches to rags, in a relationship, out of a relationship, but it's quite sudden. It's like having to take a leap of faith, a little bit like the hero's journey. Now, the 1 in a signifier can feel that we are out of our depth a little bit. When we're seeing the 1 synchronistically, within the twin flame path, within angel numbers, we'll see the 111s. Really pay attention to what is going on in your life around those areas. Especially, we can feel that we do not have the tools to achieve something, for instance. So it is really saying to you that universe is going to bring the required things towards you that you're going to need, even if you acknowledge the fact that you don't have everything at your whim at this point in time. It is assuring you that ask and you shall receive. So it is all about changes. It can be to do with relationships, partnerships, contracts, money, values, and intimate relationships. Anyway, we're going to look at this. Okay, the angel number meaning and the key areas in the twin flame path. You are moving through a large cycle of ascension and growth. You may feel unsure about these areas that you're starting fresh with. Healing and doors opening to changes ahead. Be open to the chapter, even if you can't see how it is so. Overnight changes is very possible at a drop of a hat, especially with Uranus and Taurus in the mix. Weather patterns and things to that degree we can see. Taurus can be very Venusian. It's very Venus and energy. So it can be women energy. It can be divine feminine. It can be your finances, your wealth, banking, weather, agriculture. And, it's Uranus is sort of like saying to us, in a sense, it's like you've been intuitively tuning into this area, but maybe no movement has happened. Now we're just going to rip the carpet out with under you if you haven't taken direct action for radical change. So cycles ending and fresh ahead, moving into your destined path. Your thoughts and your actions, keep them very clear. Don't second guess yourself. If you've known something for a while and you haven't reacted to it, it may be about starting to take those steps prior to this. Be it a phone call, it's a text, whatever that situation is, trust your instincts. Change in status, that can be within your wealth, within your love life, within your tag. This could be single, couple, in society. A transformation is ahead for all of us. The Ruin Cast. Now I'm going to get this out. We're going to put it on the screen. And I'm going to find it in the Little Ruin Cast Bible. I knew it had something to do with Scorpio. Honestly, whenever I see this, it just oozes Scorpio to me. So, The other thing I can say is because Pluto being shadow direct, especially as transits do move into the house of Scorpio, it's a lot of sacral chakra activation within the twin flame community. So this also, the deity is Thor. The zodiac constellation / sign relates to Scorpio. It can be Scorpio in nature. So this can be where we feel very protective of ourselves. We feel very apprehensive, wanting privacy, wanting deeper, meaningful relationships. Mars also entered this place. So there is also within divine masculines big changes happening. So the planet can be Mars and the element is earth and air. Let's go into the esoteric reading, and we will link back to when I'm reading the cards intuitively, what I'm sensing and how this is directly relating to the angel number and our ruin cast for this week. Okay, oracle, obstacles, difficulties, stubbornness, heroic journey, and patience, endurance. This is really going to be like the hero's journey. Esoteric meaning, opportunity to deflate the false ego. Spiritual courage, protection of the sacred. Reversed, repression, pride, vanity, intimate abuse, and abuse. Especially because from a spiritual point of view, those of you maybe that have been going through an awakening or you're more connected to terminology that is used in the spiritual community. I firmly do believe we get, it's always the Trinity. It's almost like we get the notion of maybe a situation that could play out. That's the number one. Number two can be a near miss. Number three is, well, you didn't use your power, and so then now your hand is forced. So we get the three. We get the near miss. We get, with the logic, we've got our intuitive energy. Then we get the physical energy of a test, and then we get the, well, you have not reacted to that. So the eclipse also can be an association to this, but again, we're going to get into the read and see what I can see for the joint connection. Now, we're first going to look at the joint connection, and the first thing I'm drawn to is the crowning energy, and the crowning energy is like, it's sort of like there are these, with these chapters in our lives, especially within joint connections, being separate wherever you stand in your journey, there are endings and new beginnings, but there could be, from a psychological point of view, something that you're needing to let go of that hasn't ended yet. And a lot of times in the joint connection, this is the joint energy. So I do feel there's some unfinished business both together, as well as with the situation that directly could be playing out. And this is something that's wrapping up. I do feel it's going to be addressed because as I have re-pulled the cards back out, it has come up in the upright. And it is really stating that there is some work to be done. There could be, for some pocket groups of TFs, that they are in avoidance of this. But nevertheless, it is going to be a situation that is going to be wrapped up. And I do feel both divine feminine and divine masculine within their own lives, they are really thinking quite solidly about each other, especially from your own individual cards that I've pulled. But I definitely do see there is an opportunity to end a cycle on each side of the fence, but you very much are looking at patterns. And I don't know why I get this vibe that both parties are kind of looking into each other with a poker face frequency of who's going to go first. But there is this reluctance, there is this pausing that is happening that potentially could be due to the eclipse. Now, as we move further, so I will pull clarifiers, don't stress. As we move further, I'm looking to the past position, and it could be a lot of second guessing. I do directly feel that both masculine and feminine in the mix of this. It's like I said, maybe not talking about things out loud, maybe really intuitively thinking that one isn't thinking about the other person. I do feel both parties are actually thinking about each other, but there is this stubbornness. The intuition, I think you want evidence-based, second guessing of each other, second guessing of where you stand right now. Could be because you're both integrating and you're changing. And emotions, there's these big question marks where it does come to the heart sense. And I do feel there could be an outpouring of emotions. There also could be a changing and a calming of the emotions that is going to be quite liberating. I do feel there's a lot of healing that is happening, but I also do feel there is sort of like a conversation that's about to come about. For some of you, I do feel there's a possibility of bumping into this individual. Or somebody directly mentioning something that is going down. It's almost like the play button's on, and then suddenly this person is kind of aspecting somehow back in your life again, even if you directly were trying to proceed forward in your own personal journey. I do see what I do feel Divine Masculine is trying to be wise. I feel some information is coming towards the both of you. And I also feel there has been, for many of you, a lesson that has been learned. But I do feel there's a test coming, especially with this energy of the green-eyed monster coming up. It's almost like there is this jealousy that is surrounding this situation, but an old issue could re-arise. But I also feel this deeply protective energy. And they're making a reference to a flower. This can be the person has bought you flowers most recently, could be a memory that you have. But this, I do feel Divine Masculine is thinking about flowers in the context. This also could be a individual that has lost a loved one that has transcended over and they're entering into the dream state. But they're planting a seed at this point. And I also feel, again, they're very protective of you. I do feel at times they may not show that insecurity or apprehension, but they do feel it to the very root core that they are very careful about what they say to other people because they feel that what's good can be taken from them, and they do hold you in a very, very high regard here. And there's a lot of thinking, even if they're not articulating this. For some of you, especially those of you that are in direct communication, they've really been mulling over their own private feelings. They could have been turning in towards somebody that was quite nearest and dearest to them, but it feels more like a friend or a family member. It doesn't feel anything romantic by any means. But they could be sharing this information with this person and trying to decipher the code of their heart, even though they do know deep down that they do have very, very strong feelings for you. There could be a subject surrounding family that's going to recrop up. Okay, they're mentioning that some wound could come from a parent figure. They're also mentioning that there is a guardian on the other side that is a biological. This could be for some of you, like this could be a ancestor of some description. So, could it be a father, a brother? It's for those of you that this is a relevant kind of channeling. I feel it'll be a related person, but it is a male figure that I can see here. I do feel the guarding over you. I do feel the guarding over the connection. For some of you, it could be because of the feelings and the things that you're going through. Also, could relate to a birthday. They're wanting you to pause and think. They're wanting you to understand the close connection you have with this individual, and also that you do have this in the bag. You do know how to deal with it. They're mentioning the art of war. And it feels that there is a requirement, and it's not that we ever can remove an emotion with a situation, but they're asking you to see clearly. They're asking you to get grounded before proceeding, and that you do have this in the bag, but it's going to require a tactical approach. That everything does happen for a reason, but they're wanting you to look at it from this point of view. If you are second guessing yourself, they are saying you are going to rise again, even if you feel you're not. I do feel in the context of this connection, there is A very quiet vibration. You may be thinking that I feel both parties could be going into some massive questioning. A lot of this is the ancestors coming in, asking you to pause for a moment. I do feel you're both being very, very cautious. It could potentially be because of the eclipse in Taurus. Now, I do feel with the outcome card being the hero, which again, we do relate back to the ruin cast, whatever both divine masculine and feminine going through in their own personal lives, and you feel it's really interrupting the connection, I feel somehow the slate is going to be wiped clean. But there is a pause. There is like, could it be a calm before the storm? I think so. But whatever's going to go down, it does appear to be it's happening very quickly. So it's almost like getting to the edge and then jumping. Now, divine feminine, let's look at your energy, and we may come back to the joint energy. You could be thinking that this person at the moment, you want them to be very grounded. You want them to be very friendly and, traditional. And, that could be something that you feel they really have been at a point in their life. You want some more information that's quite grounded. You're looking at things very logically. You don't want it all based on, I'll just say it, we've got the past energy here. With your crowning energy, you're wanting something grounded, okay? You're a bit blurred with this. You're a bit, you're like, could this be a possibility? Is this how they are? Why are they so relaxed? What's going on? You could even think that, especially for those of you in communication, all getting the downloads, you just could not be maybe gauging this person quite adequately this week. Looking to the past, especially, be it's in the 5D or the physical 3D, I feel you're looking to the past at the moment and you're really questioning your desires, but you're wanting something to be based on so much more than just the chemistry. There is this big question in the heart space, and there could be a lot of healing in your heart chakra. This is to do with heaven and earth energy. This is like, what is the possibility? Was it just for healing? Is this what this situation was for? Can my dreams become a physical reality? I feel you're underestimating your power. I feel you're underestimating the connection. I do feel for some of you, you're allowing this to play out. I feel some of you are protecting your heart quite heavily. There could be a bugbear also happening within your family. Be careful to keep your emotions in check with this, how you relate to it. I do feel if your energy is becoming quite hectic on your side of the fence, that also can be referencing a date. Let me look. What am I seeing? I feel it's sooner than that. Yeah, they were making reference to Thanksgiving, but I feel like there's another date. I feel like there's something else coming. I can't quite put my finger on it. Feels really in. Oh, it's not that far away. Let's go back to this. If it comes to me and they have another message, I will add it to the video. Now, okay. Yeah, it's just like you're baffled. You're baffled at the way things are going. You're trying to keep your cool with this. There could be moments where you are regressing back and looking at maybe lost opportunities, lost ways of dealing with these things. Um, Questioning in your mind whether this person actually is having the feelings for you. I also feel there sort of feels this vibe that you don't really want any other person as per se, but you're wanting you're also not wanting the conflict and the drama, but you want a fighter. You want a lover and a fighter. That's what you're wanting. They're making reference to a person they were once jealous of. This could resurface. I do feel for some of you, you could have hear from a person from the past. Again, I also feel this is going to transition into November because they have made reference to Thanksgiving. And I do think this is to do with a big change happening between now and the end of the year. But it's sort of like an aspect of it is occurring this month. It's like the precipice of change. And we do have the devil card here as the outcome, but I don't get this as a bad thing. I get that you're ready to deal with things and tackle things, and there is an offering, and you can meet in the middle with the circumstance, but it's almost like old people, places, and things are going to come back. And this can be for you, especially if it is in a context of two paths here. Both you internally, following your north, following your compass, and knowing what is going to work for you, but also getting into the vibe of what you're going to keep and what you're going to let go of. Divine masculine, on the other hand, um, they're thinking of you, you're thinking of them. Could you be painting a picture of each other in a way that is positive? Maybe. I mean, they look at you, especially if you've been thinking to yourself, I'm getting on. Um, uh, if this is a social event, a party, they're showing me a physical photo. They have this image in their mind of how you are. And to them, you haven't aged. To them, you still look as beautiful as ever. And they do feel that you are this very pure, kind of queen like energy. Yep, again, they're making a reference. We're looking at the rabbit on the card, rabbit, rabbit, and herring. And I feel between now and the new month, this is going to be a big change. And this is something they're quite focused on. They also feel you have changed. Even if you feel not for the better, they're feeling like they're in awe of you. They are making reference to, for those of you that are a parent, they think you are an adoring person. You have done very well to provide for yourself. I'm noticing the cabbage around the waist and the base chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus. They do feel that it's quite loving in the way you deal with those things. You can be hot headed. They do feel at times you can be hot headed, but they also know that it's coming from a very pure place. They find it very attractive. Again, they're making reference to the flowers. Now, this can be that you're great at gardening, great at, this could be design, a painting you've done, an admiration of such. But also, this is if you were questioning and picking the flowers, he loves me not. She loves me not. They're asking you to know this to the true and true. Regardless of where you are, they do deem you as family, tribe, and a physical partner in life. And this is something that they're deeply, deeply looking at. Now, that's not to say that in the initial stage that they did plant their total seed in that location. They were quite shut off. They are making reference to the fact that emotionally, this could have been most recently or in general that the emotions were quite shut off. They also feel that you can cut through thin air and you know intellectually when things are wrong, but you are able to hide your energy better than they can hide theirs. There could have been something, especially for those of you that have been tuning into the 5D and the 4D that you picked that is out of alignment, and they've been feeling it too. There has been this push-pull dynamic, and there has been these sacrifices that both parties have made for other situations, and they're really feeling at the heart of this. It's time to let that situation go. They don't want to base things purely on blind faith, but there is some unfinished business here. They also feel they need to take the mask off, but it is going to help if they feel you directly are doing such. So, um, yeah. There is a change in the way they're going to handle this. This also could be your heart chakra sending a message to them saying, look, if this is to become balanced with you and I need you to be transparent, I need to be open. And some of you could be wondering, is this person actually going to open up about the past and what went down? And I do feel yes. Some of you also could be feeling, and I get this coming through in divine masculine side, there is an old journey that is ending. There could be some unfinished business, and it was quite required of a lot of sacrifices, and it wasn't something they really enjoyed. They have noticed synchronistic patterns that has happened since they met you. They do feel they need to come out of that hermit energy. They also are making reference to the fact that if they haven't had a lot of energy, this is going to start picking up. But they also do feel sometimes rejected, especially for those of you in communication, if this part of the aspect is being rejected. They also don't want to fight. There is this feeling of not wanting to fight with you. This person could be quite down this week, really feeling. For some, this can be them actually leaving a karmic, going through a physical divorce. For others, I'm feeling it's almost emotional based. It's like they're having this feeling of lackluster, not feeling attractive, not having faith, but also feeling like they're taking situations personal. Now, even when you aren't in communication with this person, from a frequency sense, especially because the meditation will come up, sort of tuning into those individuals, they do pick up on things. And this person can be especially feeling really like they're quite missing you. But again, I do get the one overarching vibe that is really coming through is going to be this spiritual test. And I do feel through the outcome cards, we'll look at the joint connection. We have the hero's journey, and I feel this is to do with divine masculine, but it's also going to be key through this spiritual test of jealousy and insecurities to navigate this circumstance correctly. Also, to be very careful who they're entrusting energy with and really turning in towards each other. If there is something on either side of the path, to actually directly close that cycle out and be open to this brand new chapter. But there is a lot of attraction here. There are some insecurities. There could be some scavengers around that are trying to get information or to put a wedge in between the both of you. Now, on feminines, we have the outcome card as the devil card. And for masculines, we have the outcome card as the twins in reverse, but it's missing. It's almost losing a grip, the consequence for an action, misunderstandings, but situations coming at left field. They may need to look after their wellness a little bit more so. I feel their energy is really quiet. But for some reason, I do feel because they're unaware of this, they're not going to see what's coming at left field, but it could inadvertently affect the way they're proceeding forward and what is being shown here on the screen. But I do feel it's something quite unseen to them because it's not coming up in their energy, but it does appear to be quite surprising. Even if something is going down, what I can say is a lot of thought and a lot of feelings are coming up in your direction. And that would be my energy update towards you with the context of DMs, I feel as though there could be some cross wires. I do feel something quite private and personal is going down, but I also feel ultimately we are going to get a very brand new, sudden change, and it is going to be very important how you navigate it. Be very careful, Divine Feminines. There does appear to be a test on your side, and Divine Masculines, if you have been tuning into Divine Feminines, it could be, especially if they do have a third party energy on their side, this could energetically be coming up in the psychic downloads. Take care. I'll see you soon.